So the first step, even before leveling this device, is to determine where you're even going to put it. Now this is called the tripod. Here's the laser unit itself. Here's the receiver, and then this receiver slides up and down on the stick. You want this to be mounted somewhat uphill of where you want to mark a contour or check a contour. Say we want to lay out a contour somewhere in this area. We know we want to mark a contour here. We're going to want to have this thing sit not on that line because it'll be in our way, but generally slightly above it. So then in this situation, if I start low, okay, so we'll set this up down here. You want to shoot for this pad right here to be as level as possible when you start. So I'm looking at it and it's pretty close, just on the tripod. Then we step in the posts of the tripod so it's not going to move at all. And then you tighten this down slightly. I'm looking at this bubble. I get it level. I look at this bubble here. Okay, I get it close. I don't worry about it being perfect yet. Then I tighten this one more time. This is just binds this to the platform. Crank it down like pretty tight, nothing crazy, but secure. Then I level it again, and I'm looking to get it pretty perfect. It's pretty good. That's still good. When you adjust one, it sometimes messes with the other. So now when I turn this on, this is now spinning a laser horizontally, right? So we have a horizontal line established in space. And all we're doing is the receiver will tell us when it's exactly hitting that line, and we can adjust up or down, and that interacting with the slope can allow us to know whether we're dead on contour, a line of equal elevation, or if we're going down or up. So when it's dead on, makes a solid sound. If it's just beeping really fast, that's close enough. There, we're close, okay? Say we want to have a contour right here. We're like, okay, this is a great place for a swale. What we do is we find the spot, we bring this device till it's level. Okay, right there. Right there is what we call our benchmark elevation. That's our reference elevation. And you want to hold this really vertical. You don't want it at an angle, right? That'll make it inaccurate. Hold this and walk out another 5 feet and aim it towards the laser. And when it is solid line of sound, you'll be at a line of equal elevation. Dead on. Does he look vertical? Pretty good? And then go north again and try to find the contour once more. Another 10 feet out. Okay, right there. Between Paul and Charlie is a line of equal elevation. I know it looks like it, but this tells us for sure, right? The A-frame does the same thing. So now we're going to true it up a bit, and we're going to start here. Say we want to make a keyline swale here. We want to rip on keyline with a yeoman's plow. So we want to do what? Do we want to be a dead on contour? No. What do we want to be? 1 to maybe 2%, depending on soil type and slope, trending down towards the ridge, exactly. So where's the ridge, where's the valley? This is where it gets into the nitty-gritty. If you're on a small site, it gets a little tricky as to, okay, well, where's the valley, where's the ridge? It's one thing as to where the valley and the ridge is, it's another thing as to where do you want to bring water from where to where. I actually think what's more important is where's it wet and where's it dry. Usually it is wetter in the valleys and dry on the ridges, but not always. Sometimes there's like roof water coming off onto a ridge, or a spring, or just some seep. So really the ultimate question is, where is it wet, where is it dry? Right? We move into an area where there's more moisture here. So let's bring some of that moisture out towards the ridge. This will help us figure out how to do that. You would normally use a big tape, but you can pace it and just say, all right, and pace on contour, 10 paces, and then stop where you land. And then what we're going to do, if we want to be marking a line downhill, say for argument's sake this is 25 feet. If we got 25 feet happening 4 times in 100, right?
3 inches for 1%.
3 inches is 1%, right? So we're moving 3 inches up. We're going to 7, right? Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Right there. Let's put a flag in. Okay, then let's pace, want someone else to pace 30 feet? We'll call it 25. Right, so now what we're doing is we're dropping 3 inches for every 25 feet in the horizontal. That's 1%. That'd be 12 inches in 100 feet. 1 foot in 100 feet. So the important thing here is to look at that line and imagine that that is water moving very slowly. This is water being held, this top line, percolating in, slowed, spread, and sunk. And this line is still slowing, still spreading and sinking, but it's also a little bit of conveyance out towards the dry area.
So the technology that we're using here is an A-frame. You just basically built a triangle, and this little brace here, you put it on a level ground, put a a framing level on there with the bubble, get the bubble perfectly right in the middle, and then you attach some kind of string with a weight on it, and it'll hang. Gravity's usually pretty reliable, and once it's directly in the middle, you can make your mark there. You know that that means that both of the feet are at the exact same grade. You could measure the distance between those 2 feet and then calculate, I mean, just for argument's sake, let's say it's 100 inches, which is not, but whatever. And then we put a 1-inch block underneath that one. We would know that this is a 1/100 ratio. So when we have that, then we could mark there, and we'll know that that's our 1/100 mark. Bring this up 2 inches, that's our 2/100 mark. So essentially right now, we're just gonna do a little exercise of mapping out a perfectly on contour swale. Basically, we're just gonna try to hang this line so that it gets dead in the middle and lines up with this little mark there. So that's looking pretty darn good. That's pretty much right on. So that means we can put a stake right on that foot and then flip it, and then we can get the contour line rolling. Yep. Yeah, just keep that one right where it is. This is a great technology. Anyone could make one of these in 5 minutes and use it on their property for putting these contours in.